How you doing, people? Welcome back to another ESO build video. Today is a brand new video to the channel, and this is different to the rest of the builds, whereas this one is designed to be solo. So if you want to see more of this, and even this, stay tuned, it is coming right up. So what have we done? Basically, this is a solo build designed for you to play by yourself. It's not going to teach you how to beat dungeons that aren't beatable as a single player. It's not for you to solo trials. This is for you to do your solo content. Maelstrom Arena, Vateshran Arena. Now, there are elements of this build that are designed for you to play as a group in order to acquire it. But everybody knows most people that are in groups end up playing by themselves late at night when nobody else is around anyway. So what do you use? This is for you. This has got a bit of everything. Have you got all the chapters, all the content, all that kind of stuff, and not sure how to utilize it in your own solo character? Well, this has a mixture of things. This has got scribing, scrying, subclassing, base class, bought classes, all the different elements that you might engage in during your daily routine with or without friends that all come together so you can actually experience multiple sections of the game at once and put it all into one character. And above all, I'm not using any arena weapons on here because this is for you to utilize in order to get them, if you want to. So stats are useless because what people tend to do is they copy the stats by using any gear they like, and then they come back and say the build doesn't work in the way that I designed it. That's because you got it wrong. Don't wiggle the stats will work for themselves, they'll be exactly the same as long as you copy it perfectly. But there are things you need in place. So, Thief Munderstone, crit chance, 64 points into max stamina, and max stamina, max health food. The stats that you're seeing in this screen are irrelevant because they are going to fluctuate. When I put buffs and bonuses on, they are going to go up. What they end up as, I'll leave that as a surprise for you. Not that they hold too much weight because there are sets that I'm using that don't show in the stat sheet, and that's the most important thing to consider. Bear in mind, we are, of course, an orc. I always put the race in the passive section halfway through the video, but it is clear to me that most people skip that because they keep telling me off and not putting the passive in the video. Funny that. It's always in the video. Has been for 9 years. Every single build. But it's max stamina, max health, and you heal once every 4 seconds if you do damage. So your survival and your flat stats are up alongside your speed and your extra weapon and spell damage. We've got a really good balance of absolutely everything here. You can choose any race you like. It won't break the build, but this does benefit a lot with its individual passives. Your choice, though. Do what you like. We are going to go into the gear before the skills. So, Night Mother's Lightning Staff and Ice Staff. Lightning with Precise, Ice Staff with Infused. Lightning with Weapon and Spell damage, Ice with a Damage Shield. Yes, if you maintain this, enemies that get caught in this will take damage, they proc your glyph. Even if you're on the front bar, you will constantly get a reoccurring damage shield to keep you alive. The point of this is if you crit, and you will debuff the enemy, applying Major Breach, which will remove 5, 9, 4, 8 physical and spell resistance. So you're basically running around with Major Breach and you don't even have to try. Obviously, if you do ever try to go into a group scenario and you happen to be using this build, again, I wouldn't recommend it, it's solo or duo, then of course you might want to swap this out for Deadly because they may have that covered already. If they don't have it covered already, use this all day, especially on your own. It is old school and it still works. Now the other parts for this, bear in mind the staff counts as 2 pieces. So on your front bar, that counts as 2. On your back bar, that counts as 2. Is the belt, is the lowest resistance part. So go light on this if you can, but you can go medium if you prefer. With stamina and divines. And then 2 rings as well. Both bloodthirsty, both weapon and spell damage. Really simple stuff. You got your 5-piece bonuses there. Now, for group content, listen very carefully to this one before you panic. This is base game now. Used to be ESO Plus. I think it's been base game for a while. It's from Imperial City Prison, and this is leeching. Basically, if you take damage, and you've got some nice health bonuses here, the enemy that hits you will have a cloud of poison underneath them for 5 seconds, and every 1 second that they take damage, you will heal. This is significantly boosted by the overall setup, and I'll explain more about that later, but this also is area of effect poison, so it can hit multiple targets at once, so you can get rapid heals from more enemies than one. This is your survival set. Now, how do you acquire it? You can go into normal difficulty, random groups, planned groups, whatever you want, or you can get the trophies that come from here, and you can go into the dungeon, go to the right hand side, and there is a door there. It's a vault, and you can use your currency to get the gear. So spam it with your mates or people you don't know and get the gear eventually, or use the currency and go and buy it. It's curated, it's relatively random to start with as well, so obviously you might not get what you want straight away, but it's an option nonetheless. So technically you can solo acquire it, but I'd encourage you to go into groups because then you've got more options or more people to kind of share loot with if you're after something specific. Anyway, helmet, chest, hands, legs, feet. Every single one of these needs to be in divines with stamina, apart from the chest, which needs to be reinforced with health. The necklace is Velofi Mage's Amulet, and this is to improve your overall DPS. All of the damage that you do against enemies that are monsters, i.e. PvE content, will take 15% more damage from you, including from the leeching set when they get hit with that, which will return a bigger heal to you. The damage done heals you for the equivalent, including healing received bonuses, so it can be more. You've got minor force at all times, so your crit damage is up, but your light and heavy attacks are reduced by 99%. So if you're not good at weaving, it doesn't matter. You don't need to heavy attack because it's useless. It's going to be really, really low damage, and it's not going to maintain the resource bar that you need. And your light attacks are only going to apply the glyph once every 4 or 5 seconds, depending on which bar you're on. So it's not going to be the end of the world if you skip one. So this is a big bonus to you as a survival player, giving you a decent amount of damage on top of what you've got. And it's also helping you if you're not very good at weaving because you're not punished so much. So that's that in a nutshell. Now we're going to go into the skills. These are simple, but I am going to go to my house for this banner so I can show you how to make it. So we're probably better off going there now, actually. So we are a mixture. I said subclassing, I said base game, and I also said DLC stuff. So we are a necromancer at base. Technically, this is a necromancer build, but we're taking advantage of the tanky side of the necromancer, the healy side of the Nightblade, and the damagey side of the Arcanist. So we've got 3 individual roles from 3 different classes. Starting off, necrotic potency. This will scoop up dead bodies if you activate it for free, and you will get 6 ultimate and a heal over time for doing so. You can scoop up to 6 targets at a time, so yes, you can have a long heal over time, and that will add up to all the rest of the heals you've got incoming. While slotted, you take less damage as well, so you're tankier. Now we're going to do the Arcanist skills in reverse order because then they'll make more sense. So starting off with the flail, which is squid arms basically, this bad boy here. This will generate a crux if it hits a target. It will also debuff the target so you do more damage to them. And you will heal as long as you connect with them as well. So you fire this twice, you've now got 2 cruxes. To demonstrate what that looks like, you can see a triangle hovering around my body. You get up to 3. That's your maximum. They give you passive bonuses, and they benefit some actives that consume them. So let's make that simple. Spam this at least twice per rotation, or use it as and when you need to. Immobilizes, does damage, and heals. This here, while sitting on your bar, will give you major brutality and sorcery, so we don't need potions. Either bar you're on, front or back, you will maintain this bonus. But if you activate it and leave it running, for the next 30 seconds, whenever you don't have a crux, it will apply one, if you do damage. Also, once every 3 seconds, or up to once every 3 seconds, if you're using class abilities, this will pulse and do damage. So while your next skill that I'm going to talk about is running, this can actually generate extra damage. So, how do we work this? Pragmatic Fate Carver gives us a damage shield while channeling. It also is scaled off of our highest resource, so it is costing and scaling off of stamina. And it will do damage very, very fast. 0.3 seconds is how fast the tick rate is, for a period of time of up to 4.5. Now, bear in mind, you might have to interrupt this, but this comes with a caveat. If you fire it, yes, you'll do damage. It's very fast-paced. It's really powerful. But if you have cruxes, it's stronger. So, you need 3. If you have no cruxes and you do damage, this will give you a free crux. If you fire this, you'll also get a crux. So instead of firing 3 of these and then your beam to make it stronger and cheaper, you fire 2 of these while this is active. I'll give you an example. Currently I have no cruxes. This beam or tentacle gives me 1. Ready? I got 2. If I do damage with no cruxes, I will gain a crux. So this one generates 1, but for doing the damage in the first place, this one gives me a free one. So that actually really, really helps. So instead of 3 of these and a beam, it's 2 of these and a beam. Tentacle, tentacle, beam, tentacle, tentacle, beam. Maintain this. About as simple as it gets. Shattering Banner. This is staying on at all times. I haven't demonstrated this yet, but it looks so cool. So first of all, I'm going to tell you how to make it. This is why we're a Necromancer, because we're taking advantage of a class script. Lucky for you, you can get those solo in the Infinite Archive. Almost like the build was designed for it. Banner. Multi-target. Improves all area of effect damage, which means your tentacles and your beam are improved. Yes, I know you can use shock damage for direct damage, but this one actually significantly increased the overall damage. Reason being is the direct damage is quite nice, but we're taking advantage of some champion points that boost area of effect. So instead of having a bit of a balance of two, kind of dipping into two different areas, we pushed it all into one. And oddly enough, it did actually benefit more. Even though the stat is the same, or should be, this benefited more. Meanwhile, we are using the Necromancer Class Mastery script, which also, one more thing, this makes it look cooler. That's the most important thing. This script, even though this is weaker, for this build, this looks cooler. Anyway, so once every 3 seconds, your health, magicka, and stamina will be improved by 2% for a 10-second period of time for each corpse available within 12 meters. So this will constantly check to see if there's any bodies around, and if there are, your health, magicka, and stamina will improve. Now this can stack up to 10 times, so you can get a significant bonus from this if you're inside a big cluster of enemies. But while in combat also, if there are no corpses nearby, once every 5 seconds, this will create one. So you can take advantage of necrotic potency simply by being in combat. You don't need any skills that drop corpses because this already presents them to you. Kill stuff, bodies appear, scoop them up. The more bodies, the more resources and health you have. It's a constant ever-changing buff and it's very, very fun to use. Now, we've also got Savagery and Prophecy because now we don't have to make potions at all for that. We can use tripods all day long because now we have Savagery, Prophecy, Brutality, and Sorcery on the bar at all times. Note, by the way, the banner must be double barred, so do not try to put it on one bar and then swap because it will fall off. And remember I said it looked cooler? Look at this. Oh, yes. Everybody loves a red banner instead of a big blue obnoxious beam from space. That now stays with us. We always have the benefit. And to show how this works, all I need to do is light attack this target. I'm now in combat, and a corpse will appear once every 5 seconds for me if there aren't any corpses around, and I can scoop it up. Also, my health, stamina, and magicka went up because there's a body nearby. That must be double barred. Dawnbreaker's on the front bar for emergencies. If you want some quick deeps and you want some weapon and spell damage boosted, that is the bar that you want to be on. That's the skill you want to use. Failing that, leave it as a passive increase to damage because you've got Fighter's Guild passives for it being there. You can use your back bar ultimate more often if you prefer. It is a lifesaver and it makes you feel awesome. We're going to skip straight to that ulti. Necromancer Bone Tyrant Ultimate, Ravenous Goliath. You turn into a massive Bone Colossus. And during that period of time, for 20 seconds, not only will your health be dramatically increased, you've got over 80k health, but you will heal from your light and heavy attacks, and you will also do damage to enemies anywhere near you. Bear in mind that magic damage that you do over time, counts as area of effect as well, will heal you based off of your maximum health. So the higher your health is at that point in time, the stronger that damage is. So this is your damage everything, heal for a full 20 seconds of being Goliath mode button. It is mental. 250 ulti, yes, so double the price of Dawnbreaker, but definitely worth it. Now the banner, again, is double barred, of course, so we don't run out of it. Unstable Wall of Frost. You can have Unstable Wall if you want, or you can use the other one that lasts longer and has longer range. The choice is yours. We don't technically need the burst of extra damage that comes from this when it pops, so you can take the other morph instead. In fact, I'd highly recommend it. It's what you want to get, and we'll do this so it makes sense on the actual video so you can see. Let's do this. We'll go to the store real quick and we'll grab some free stuff. This is on the PTS. This is why I can do this. I don't recommend doing this here. I recommend you go to a shrine and respec if you've got the wrong one. It will cost you a few gold, but don't worry. It's not that expensive. Now, or you can simply just not morph it the wrong way. This here, again, it bursts at the end or when you recast it, so it's quite nice for deeps if you want to. But generally speaking, just take Elemental Blockade. It lasts longer. It still has the same effect, and the effect is what we want. The effect is this. While it's on the ground, as soon as it fires, you get a damage shield for projectile type damage, so you're tankier again. Anything caught inside of this will constantly fire your damage glyph, and it has a chance of applying chilled. If chilled is applied in this manner, regardless of which bar you're on, they will, of course, receive a debuff. They will receive Minor Breach, which stacks with your Major from your Night Mother set. So you have both debuffs at the same time. Higher damage for you. Bear in mind also, if it does happen to proc while you're on this back bar, it will also be affected with Minor Brittle, which will increase your crit damage on target. As you can see here, that is Minor Breach. Major Breach even, because it crit. No status effect yet, we're not being lucky. Come on. There you go. So, 3 different effects at once. Why? Minor Breach will apply from the chance of applying status inside this wall. That is its benefit. Chilled itself applies Minor Maim, so they hit less strength-wise. So 5% reduction to their damage. And Minor Brittle is if you have an Ice Staff while applying Chilled. So we've got 3 different rules there. Chilled, holding an Ice Staff while chilled, and chilled inside Wall of Elements. So you've got 3 effects that can happen. The 4th one, the one that happened more often, is the one that comes from the crit chance from the set. It's probably a bit more confusing than it needed to be, but basically, the short version, keep this on the floor at all times. Potentially 3 effects that can happen, 4th with the set, plus the shield for projectiles at the beginning and the end of the skill. So if you want this more than once, reapply it, get it again. If it's under a target, look at my health bar. I have a damage shield once every 4 seconds from the glyph. Really easy. Anyway, short version, keep it on the ground at all times. Resistance buff, of course. Summoner's Armor. Bone Tyrant skill, we have taken Summoner's Armor, not the other one. The other one lasts 20 seconds, not 30. It pulls the enemies instead of making your pets cheaper. Granted, we don't have any pets, but this does have a nice long duration, so it is a lot more helpful for those of you that struggle with timers. Also, once every 10 seconds if you're in combat, you can cast a corpse ability from yourself. You actively act as a corpse. So in combat now, once every 5 seconds we have a corpse from the banner, and once every 10 seconds we have one from the resistance buff. So that is one, which was from the resistance one. Then in a couple seconds we've got the one from the banner. And if you look at the timer again, we're about to hit another one from the resistance set in about 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, come on. There it goes. And then there's one on the ground as well. So we got double out of that one. It's pretty mad and very, very helpful. Always being able to gain ultimate on the fly rather than having to worry about blast bones and confusing yourself with loads of extra procs that don't make any sense. This is on a timer. Once every 10, once every 5. So technically, every 5 seconds you've got 1 corpse, every 10 you've got 2. Now, how that works is simple. Resistance buff on, banner on, in combat. If you don't have a corpse, the banner will create one. If you do have a corpse, it won't. In the meantime, I'm due one in 5 seconds from the banner, but I'm also due one from this. I can take that now, as soon as I cast it, and then take this after. So if you stagger them, you'll always get 2 once every 10 seconds, and you'll have 1 every 5. If you don't stagger them and they're exactly the same, unfortunately, because you hit combat at the same time as you hit this, then, of course, one will cancel out the other. Technically speaking, though, you should have every 5 seconds at least 1 corpse and sometimes 2. If you can maintain that and just keep scooping them up, you'll have ulti for days. Now, siphoning attacks. This is why we're the Nightblade siphoning skill line. Really, really simple stuff. Morph it to this particular version. This will cost you health. And in return, you'll get 2,600 magicka and stamina back. If you need to do that. If you don't need to do that, all you need to do is keep it slotted. On either bar, in combat, when you do damage, any damage, you will heal up to once a second, and you will restore magicka and stamina. So, basically your resources always come back just for you doing stuff. It's like crit surge, except you don't have to press it. And what if you do need to press it? Well, don't worry. The Legion set will constantly keep you alive because you're constantly getting heals from getting hit. Which means if you're on the back bar and you're using the Ice Staff, which has tanky passives, because you can block with a Magical Bar now, your Magical Bar is going to go down relatively quick, isn't it? No. Because if you were to use magic here, by blocking or using skills, and you cast Siphoning Strikes, and kept up your potions, even if your bar is going down, you can still use this while holding block and get it all back. Arguably, you could be losing health right now, but you'll be gaining health because you're getting hit. Your Siphoning Strike's cost is negated by the heals you receive, and you can perma-block while getting back your resources. In the meantime, if you need to, you can keep up a damage shield from Bone Shield, which I'm getting to in a moment. So not only do you return fire at the enemy from the Bone Shield itself, but you also protect yourself now with 2 damage shields, again, while perma-blocking. I cannot run out of resources. It's impossible to run out. As long as they're hitting me, I'm constantly healing, and as long as I'm blocking, I've got mitigation, as long as I'm spamming Siphon and Strikes, there's my resource recovery forever. So, as a solo player doing solo content, you're not going to be running around just spamming damage shields. You're going to have to maintain your survival, and that is one of the ways to do so. Anyway, Bone Shield. Told you this was all over the place. This is an Undaunted skill. Basically, you morph it into Spike Bone Shield. You've got high health. You've got good resistances. If you apply this, you have a decent-sized damage shield, and the enemies will have damage returned to them. All they have to do is hit you with direct damage, and they receive damage in return. So while you can do damage on one bar, they can still be hit while you're on this bar just for being hit by them. Returns fire. It's thorns, essentially. You can maintain that if you're doing the trick that I just taught you. That's pretty much it. Passives. I'm going to go over these very, very quickly. Most of the class ones, actually. The rest of them, just get them. It's as simple as that. You're going to need them. It does support the build. Now, Bone Tyrant, very important. When an enemy dies while you're on a bar that has Bone Tyrant on there, which is both, you will get resources back. So all you need to do is have that enemy die. Doesn't matter if you kill it or not, as long as you're in combat with it, then it dies within 28 meters, you get 666 both resources back. So that helps you get your resources back very, very quickly, even though we're in heavy armor. Reduces the damage you take from damage over time abilities while you have a Bone Tyrant ability active. Always keep your resistance buff active, and you will always benefit from this. You will take far less damage. Increase heal and receive, depending on how many skills from this skill line are on the bar, and increases your max health just for the hell of it. Siphoning, very important. Pop a potion, get 22 ultimate. Alongside this, you've got ultimate for days. You can be the Necromancer transformation a lot. Bear in mind, your ulti doesn't regenerate while you're in that form, so save your ulti regeneration until after. 6% increase max magicka and stamina while only on your back bar, not while on the front. Technically, I know people would argue that you want it on the front, but then the trick I just taught you only works on the back, because otherwise you've got to swap bars all the bloody time. So keep the pen bonus from this, and keep this on there. This will increase your healing done by 3% for each Siphon and ability slotted. Really handy on your back bar where you've got all your defenses. And casting a Siphon ability while in combat will give you 2 ultimate once every 4 seconds. If you do use it, you get ulti back. Arcanist, really simple stuff. If you have a Crux, you will increase your crit damage and critical healing. So heal with a crit, or damage with a crit, it will be higher. And that is when you generate a Crux or when you consume a Crux. After any of your resource bars have hit full, you'll get an extra 284 weapon and spell damage. If your magic bar now fills or your stamina bar now fills, you'll get increased damage. Your attacks, bear in mind on the front bar, have a heightened chance and damage improvement on status effects. So on your front bar, you do higher damage from status and they happen more often. So while the Ice Staff is nice to have on the back bar for chilled and all the rest of it, and minor brittle, if you're not too fussed about brittle, which won't make too much difference for you solo, fire the Wall of Elements, get onto your front bar quickly. That chilled can kick in, the minor breach can kick in. I'll give you a demonstration of that. You saw how long it took to apply earlier. Wrong bar. One skill, maintain it, keep going, there it is. Third tick, fired. Earlier we had to wait a lot longer. That's random, obviously. It's chance-based, but it's still better. Now, the amount of skills on your bar determines how much penetration values you have from each skill, obviously. And at the front bar, we've got 3,720 for 3 skills. Back bar, none. So, you do more damage on the front. The more of those skills are there, the better. Subclassing, you've already understood this. Arcanist, Necromancer, Nightblade. But the Necromancer must be first. If it's not, you can't take that class script. Dexterous skills, get them all. Every single one of them. This is the most important one. If you heavy attack with an Ice Staff, you have a damage shield that is scaled off your max health, and it negates all damage types unless the rule is different. So not just projectile, but melee stuff as well. Anything that is on the floor, damage over time, anything that can be mitigated by a damage shield, this will support that. And it stacks with Bone Shield and the projectile damage shield that comes with the wall. Bear in mind also when you're blocking, you block with the Ice Staff, so you block with your Magicka. Take advantage of Leech and Strikes and Bone Shield, you won't run out of resources. The rest of them, of course, are helpful, but read through those in your own time. Just unlock them all. It's going to take you a little while to get them anyway, so read them along the way. Light armor, get all of those passives as soon as possible if you are utilizing the belt. And of course, heavy armor is incredibly important because it gives us more resources, more physical resistances in combat as well. When I say resources, you actually get resources back for being hit. So all these passives are incredibly useful. Make sure you get them as soon as possible. If you are going medium instead of light, get those instead. But light and heavy is what we're using right now. We are taking advantage of Fighters Guild, of course. This will increase the damage that you will do because it increases your weapon damage for having these abilities on your bar. We've got 1, so we've got 3%. Again, you can utilize the ulti if you want. We can just leave it there for this bonus. And also, you get ultimate for getting kills. So as long as everything is being done mostly on this bar, you're all good. Get all the passives, basically. Undaunted, of course, the more different types of armor you use, the more resources you have. Magicka, stamina, and health. We're using 2. 511 wasn't quite worth it, but you really can change it if you want to. But remember, your survivability is going to go down because you're nuking a whole heavy piece. Your flat resources sometimes are not worth the swap. As it stands, we've got 4%. If you want to swap it, you've got 6. But any synergy you take, regardless of where it's from, will give you resources back. So if you do end up somewhere with a partner, or even in 4-player content, if you choose to do that, even though it's not designed for it, you will get resources. Orc has already been done. Alchemy. Medicinal use. If you are not using your potion right now, you are wrong. Use your potion. It gives you ulti, and it maintains recovery bonuses that come with it. Really, really simple. If it's just sitting there doing nothing, you're wasting your time. And I know you feel like they're expensive, but they are consumable buffs. Consume them. If they're expensive, go farm some gold. And I know that is going to hurt some people's feelings. I can't spare everybody. Now, champion points. Really simple stuff. This is crucial. Reaving Blows. Any direct damage you do will heal you for 7% of the damage done. Tentacles and your beam are both direct damage. They are channels, yes, but they are direct. So when you apply your tentacles, you already apply a heal for casting it. You also get a second heal from this. Your beam itself, damage shield, and heals. Also, you are healing from leeching strikes for all damage you do, and you're an orc, so you heal once every 4 seconds as well. We've got multiple stacking healing bonuses here alongside leeching, which also will stack on top of this, and you have a really hard time dying. Damage-wise, however, Raffle Strikes for extra weapon and spell damage for all damage types. Oblivion damage is not necessarily essential in PvE. It is a nice burst if enemies die, and it's not going to be massively beneficial in all content, but in the Infinite Archive, you do want this. That is where it is useful. If you're not in the Infinite Archive, swap it out for Biting Aura. That way, you can then benefit from area of effect damage at the same time as direct damage, at the same time as taking advantage of your heals. So you've got all damage, area damage, and direct damage. All of those are useful. If you are in the Infinite Archive, again, swap this out for this. Now, I understand, obviously, this looks daunting to newer players. Don't worry. Just get these ones first to unlock this. Go into here, get this to unlock these. The rest of them, put your points in as and when you can. All these blue ones here, you don't need them all. You can only slot 4 anyway. Those are the 4 you want to choose. Red ones, really easy. This here and this here doesn't require any prerequisites, so get those. Then, come over to here and unlock this tree here. 10 points is fine. Go down to here, and then here, and then here. This will allow you to break free automatically once every 21 seconds if you get stunned. That is a game changer. Take it. You're a solo player. You're going to get caught out in lots of stuns and CC and stuff all the time. This will save your resources. In the meantime, come over to here, get the health bonuses, and get this. If you get kills, you get stamina back. You will run dry of stamina sometimes. So, slow down. You're not a DPS in group content. You are there to pace it at your own pace, for want of a better term. Twice in the same sentence, go me. This will help you. On your back bar, you will need to maintain leech and strikes while blocking to get all your bars back up if you need to. The rest of the time, if you're killing stuff, this plus a necro passive, both will give you resources back. Just keep going. On boss fights, you might need to refill, but on trash pulls, you'll be fine. Green stuff. This one is going to make you faster between fights. The rest of it doesn't really matter. It's quality of life. Have a look through them, see what you like. It's quality of life. I highly recommend these two, because obviously your food lasts longer and your potions might not even be consumed, but the rest of it is up to you. This is handy while leveling subclassing because skill lines go up faster, but again, essentially none of these really benefit you massively in combat. In fact, not at all. So, how do you play it? That's the most important thing. How do you play it? There's no such thing as a rotation while you're solo, because you might be doing this all the time. With a small amount of damage, just hoping it'll die. It's quite simple. So, Scholarship must stay on at all times. Your banner should always be active, and your resistance buff should be on at all times. Essentially, since your banner shouldn't ever run out, as long as you're maintaining your potions and your resource management, then technically speaking, it's just this and this. The rest of the time, wall underneath any targets to maintain a damage shield. Tentacle, tentacle, beam it to death. Oh, look, a body. Scoop it up. Tentacle, tentacle, beam it to death. And just maintain that. As long as this is on the ground, resistance buff is on, and scholarship is on, it's scooping bodies, tentacles, and beams. Your survival is insane. Because enemies need to hit you in order for you to heal, it doesn't matter that you stand in stupid sometimes. Obviously, I'd encourage you not to, because you don't want to be caught by one-shots, but it's very forgiving when it comes to very dangerous mechanics. When it comes to lots and lots of overlapping AoEs, you don't have to run around as much as you normally would because you can take it. This up, this down, damage shield, big resistances. Easy peasy. Basically, you're the almost immortal warrior, except you've got a gun. Now, fashion. This is one for you solo players that have never completed Maelstrom Arena. If you complete Maelstrom Arena on Veteran, you will unlock this. Spoiler, by the way. Wrong one. No, I know, there's hardly anything unlocked here as the PTS. That is your polymorph for completing Maelstrom Arena on Veteran. Go ahead on normal, see how you feel once you've put this together. I guarantee you'll flatten it. Then go on to Veteran, and you'll just have to be more mindful of some of the mechanics. There are some things that can nuke you, i.e. the poison round or the ice round, but when it comes to enemies, there's going to be very few that can actually kill you. Mechanical awareness is going to be key. Outside of that, big heavy attacks and stuff are not going to hurt. So that big problem where you panic and there's AoEs everywhere and there's the one-shot mechanic and then there's loads and loads of ads doing too much damage to you, they won't hurt you. So, hopefully that helped. Hopefully that will give you some idea of how to play as a solo player with a new build. And hopefully you understand that this is not designed for trials, dungeons, and all that kind of stuff. This is designed for when your friends have gone or when you just like to play on your own in content that is designed for you. So, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you still use Lazy Sork instead and get splattered a few times? People, if you are not subscribing, hit the button. It's free. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.